Please review the disclosures. Nothing written, expressed, or said here should be looked at as investment advice or an admonition to buy, sell, or trade any security or financial instrument. The Lund Loop is for informational purposes only. Hey everybody, welcome to the daily update for Friday, October 17th. Happy Friday. Hey, it's Friday. Let's do some housekeeping. Real quick, if you are a free subscriber to the Lund Loop, here's what you get Monday through Friday. You get some of the intraday action. It's Friday. Some of the intraday action plus a little look at the current market outlook. But if you're a paid subscriber, what do you get? Well, you get that, and you get the full market outlook, the current market outlook, risk on, risk off, how we position ourselves for the week going forward. You also get weekly charts on Friday, like today. We go through the macro indicators every day to figure out those puzzle pieces that make sense with what the market's doing. We have the daily setups watch list. This is the list of things I think have the biggest chance of moving the most in the next 1 to 3 days. And then finally, the active stocks, which are things that have graduated from the daily setups that we want to watch, either because you want to add to them, you want a second bite at the apple if you missed the first one, or you want to manage your positions. The point is, become a subscriber, $300 for a year. Come on, what a deal. Hey, let's talk about the concept of de-risking. So I haven't done the numbers yet. I'm going to be doing the numbers in about an hour and a half over at Beechwood with a lovely craft brew next to me. I think I'm about 75, 80% cash. Okay. So does that mean I'm risk off? No. What it means is I'm de-risking. And I'm going to talk about that. It means taking some risk off, but also allocating in a way that you still have some upside. So let me tell you what I'm talking about here when I say de-risking. This is a chart, a weekly chart of Northrop Grumman. I've circled the area that corresponds with when my mother-in-law started working at Northrop Grumman. My little petite, unassuming Vietnamese mother-in-law, who barely spoke English, worked on the electrical harnesses for F-14 Tomcats at Northrop Grumman. She worked there for 17 years. Okay, so she started working there here. And back then they had a pension plan. And what you could do is you could decide whether you wanted Northrop Grumman stock, if you want to buy some out of each of your paycheck, how much you wanted, or did you want to allocate it to other stuff? Anyway, so fast forward, I didn't even know my mother-in-law here. I hadn't met my wife till 93, like right here. So fast forward a few years and look at that. Her stock has gone from, boom, from like 6 to 60. Okay, but over the next couple of years, what happened? It tanked. It went down to 20. She lost 66% of her pension worth. But it didn't matter because she wasn't looking to retire anytime soon, right? So what happened? Stock went up, continued to go higher, broke back above, move this over here, broke back above where she had her high water mark right there. And then we get right here to February, March of 2008. Now, my mother-in-law got a notice from Grumman because she decided she was going to retire in the next year and said, hey, you're going to retire in the next year. You need to take a look at some of your stuff, get your paperwork in order. She had no idea what any of this meant. So she said, hey, white, tall, good-looking son-in-law, or let's see, son-in-law. Yeah, I was a son-in-law at that point. We were married. Yeah. She said, here, take a look. Tell me what I should do. And I looked at her allocation and she had 98.7% of her money, 17 years worth of allocations in Northrop Grumman stock. And I said, Ma is what you say to your mother-in-law in Vietnamese. It means mom. Here's the problem with Vietnamese. It's a tonal language. There are 5 tones. There's the middle, there's the high, low, and high, and then low, high, and low, high. Anyway, there's 5 of them. A center one, 2 higher ones, and then 2 lower ones. You say ma, right? Ma. That means mom. You say it wrong, it means ghost. If you say it wrong another way, it means horse. If you say it wrong another way, it means hooker. So you don't want to call your mother-in-law a ghost, a horse, or a hooker. Fortunately, when dorky white guys like me try to speak Vietnamese, whether I say ma or whatever, my mother-in-law knows I'm not calling her a hooker. Right? The point is, I said, Ma, You've got 98.7% of your net worth in Northrop Grumman. You are going to retire in a year. If God forbid something happens to that stock, if it takes a big hit, you don't have time to recover. You need to de-risk. We're moving this all into, we're selling all that stock, we're moving it all into cash. And guess what? I became the hero son-in-law, good looking, tall, white son-in-law, because look what happened. A year later, 1 year, when she retired in February of March 09, stock had lost over 50% of its value in this thing called the financial crisis. Now, again, if my mother-in-law had 5 or 10 more years from here, we wouldn't have done it, because look at 5 years after here, you're that's 5 years, boom, you're way back up here. 10 years, boom, you're way up here. It wouldn't matter, but she didn't have that. She had a year. So what am I going on this long rambling story about? Well, we have 10 weeks, 2.5 months till the end of the year. It's been a fantastic year. So what I did today was a extension of what started last Friday. When we had the market fall off a cliff, the few positions I was in, I sold most of them. This was a frustrating week because the market was like this is, but it was way less frustrating based upon how we positioned ourselves last Friday. But today I took another step towards de-risking, but also giving myself an opportunity to have some upside potential if the market rallies. So let's go into that, and I'll walk you through everything that I did today.